Welcome back to Newsmaker Live. I am Clinton Reynolds. I'm joined here by Ernest Otley, the coordinator of Project Breakaway, and also Leslie Serrier, the treasurer of the St. Lucia Cycling Association. In a short while, we'll be opening up the lines to take your calls so that you can contribute to this discussion and also ask questions that I might have missed during the last hour. So in the next 10 minutes or so, we will be taking your phone calls. Now, Leslie, I had to cut you off. Sorry about that. And I was making the point that it would appear that the training regiment is somewhat ad hoc or disjointed, and you were making reference to football teams or other sports. But the difference is, you know, with the other sports, you have coaches. Do we have coaches in the sport of cycling right now?
We do have coaches. The Cycling Association has put on a number of training courses for coaches. We have scattered them around the island, so we have trained a number of persons. Also, individual cyclists can access coaching assistance from other sources, online, overseas. They can get, I mean, it's up to the cyclists now, or if they form a club, to have themselves in peak condition. So when the time comes for selection to national team, that you can make that transition and then form part of the national team and then get training with one of our national team coaches before the lead up to an overseas engagement.
And who are the coaches that we have right now? National coaches?
Well, number one, Cyril Mangal is he's the president of the association and is a national coach. I actually have done I'm a level 2 coach as well. Mr. Otley has done a level 1 coaching course. Okay. We have a number of coaches from school teachers, scattered right around the island.
Okay, wonderful. Now, Project Breakaway, you have other activities. You have your newsletter coming on, you know, so that you can inform people of what you're involved in and what you're doing. And also, I would imagine to encourage them to get involved in the sport of cycling. Tell us about that.
Yes, and also to lift the profile of the whole cycling movement in St. Lucia. So one of the instruments that we're going to be using is a newsletter called The Ride. And The Ride would be for the St. Lucia cycling community. Everything you want, from training to nutrition, to types of bikes, bike repairs, anything on cycling could be found on the newsletter. Of course, the charities that we are supporting would also be there. You get to learn about them there as well. So the newsletter is going to be of international standard. As a matter of fact, it is presently accessible at projectbreakaway.rizzen102.com, and Rizzen is RIZZEN 102.com.
Okay,
so projectbreakaway.rizzen102.com.
Project Breakaway.
.rizzen102.com.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Project Breakaway. So that is also a means by which people can be informed about cycling, because we really want to raise the profile of the sport to international standards.
Okay. We want to open up the lines to you right now so that you can call in to make your contribution to this discussion. We're discussing Project Breakaway, not only a healthful group, but also group involved in charity work. That project was started in October last year, and they held their first ride, a charity ride, in December of last year. Very quick turnaround. We have our first call. Please go ahead, caller. Thanks for joining us on Newsmaker Live. Oh, let's just make sure we have.
Hello, good night.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I've been watching your program. I used to cycle when I was much younger, and I'm getting close to 50, and I like riding. Right now, I park my car during the week and I'm riding to work. Do y'all do anything in the form of roads, talking to the government about organizing the roads a little better for cyclists, or teaching younger children, or even the children that are now, how to use the roads better? Because I drive through and I see them zipping in and out of the traffic, and I see the way the drivers also treat the cyclists. And I think maybe some education on both sides of it would help. Do y'all do anything like that?
We have done so in the past, so thanks for the call.
Thank you very much for calling.
We are very encouraged to hear that you ride a bike as well. We have had sessions, sensitization sessions with our cyclists. We used to do actually weekly Sunday group rides to try to teach person how to use the road correctly. And we recognize the need to do more of those events, and of course sensitize other road users, drivers, to appreciate that we have cyclists on the road that we need to give them courtesy and share the road with them. So yes, we will step up this year.
All right. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead. Hello?
No.
Okay. We seem to have lost that call.
I also want to say that that is why we find it important to have the cyclist convention. And road safety is one of the things that we're going to be discussing there. So we're going to invite the police to come in and speak on road safety.
Good evening, caller. Please go ahead. Good evening. I could not. I missed that one too. We seem to be having a little difficulty here, so we'll try to sort that out and come back to you. On the road safety issue, I mean, it cuts both ways, because it would appear that motorists don't really have a lot of respect for cyclists. Well, all kinds of bikers, motorcyclists, and also just cyclists. And some of the cyclists, they actually look for that kind of response from motorists because of the way that they weave in and out of traffic. I mean, in terms of the education, you're talking about the convention that you're having. How great a focus will you have on that aspect?
Very heavy focus on that area. As a matter of fact, we're going to, in addition to looking at things like first aid, we're going to spend a lot of time on road safety, because it is very important, and that also shows the importance of riding with a group like Project Breakaway, because we practice these road safety techniques, even in terms of what you should wear on the street at different times of the day or night, and so on. How should your bike be outfitted, and so on, so that people can see you, how to use the road, and indicate to drivers that you are there and give them their due courtesy.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Clinton.
Good evening, sir.
First, Leslie, I want to correct you. Otley is a level 2 coach and not a level 1 coach. I was trained in 2008, and I was.
Okay, can you please lower the volume of your set before you continue, sir? Because it's.
That is off. I think I have my mute button.
Okay, that's better. That's much better.
Yeah. Now I was just saying that, correcting Leslie, that Mr. Otley is a level 2 coach, trained in 2008.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm very proud of Mr. Otley as one of the coaches who got the training and is going out and actually doing something. That is a really serious problem. I think a lot of sporting federations have. We have a lot of people who do really come out and do put their training out and do what they're supposed to do in terms of developing the sport. The Olympic Committee has been very helpful in that aspect. And in terms of you talking about training skills program, last year we had a skills training program with some youngsters, teaching them the basic skills on how to do road etiquette, riding on the road. You mentioned some point earlier. I also want to highlight that a lot of the senior cyclists are coaches themselves. Kurt Maraj is a level 2 coach. Kurt Maraj is a level 1 coach. And these guys, they do the program and they do consult with me sometimes when they need assistance, and they do get the guidance. So it's not as if the cyclists are doing what they want. They are pretty aware of what exactly they have to do, and they can take care of that. Just maybe monitoring is the important aspect of cycling. There is another point earlier on you made I want to touch on when we talk about cycling had a low ebb. I just want to let people know that I think between Kurt Maraj and these guys came in on the scene in about 2000. And that's when we had Michael Pierre was there, and we organized the inter-school cycling championship. These guys rode mountain bike and BMX, and they graduated in that. And between that period and about 2004, the St. Lucia Cycling Association had a lot of difficulty in getting police permission for races. That was an issue where in the past we got the police for free. And we had a serious battle in terms of cost, paying police because of special duties. And we have acceded that we have to pay police special duties. I think the police have limited resources in terms of people available on a weekend for races. So right now, for instance, even the race we had on national, the 50% of that, the sponsorship that we got went to police. I mean, that is a difficult issue for us, and people must be concerned that we really cannot have a race until we get permission for the police. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes you have red tape. Sometimes you have people in the police who push it quickly, and sometimes we find that it's a slow pace. So there are a lot of aspects in terms of cycling that has made it difficult. I mean, I've been in cycling from 1983. I'm still here. I was a cyclist up to 1989 and in administration with a club within the St. Lucia Cycling Association and became president in 1997. So I have seen the ups and downs of cycling.
Thank you very much for your call. We appreciate that contribution there. Now, he made a point about, you know, some of our top cyclists being coaches themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, I see a little difficulty in that, because if they're coaching, who's coaching them? You know, and how do they really identify their weaknesses and work on those areas? Because you're not taking an outside view of it. You're actually in there, and you cannot see exactly what you're doing wrong. That
Them being coaches gives them appreciation of what it takes for them to develop themselves. They don't coach themselves exclusively. Mr. Manga is still the child of the national team. He as the head coach of the national team, and we do source outside coaching assistants. We had the assistance of a coach called Pierre Hatsebo from Canada, who developed some programs for us a few years ago for Kurt Maraj, Winston Williams, Sammy Joseph. All of them were on programs that this guy put together for us. So them being coaches doesn't mean that they rely on themselves exclusively to coach themselves, but they just have a greater appreciation of what it takes and what they need to do to perform at a peak level.
Now, an issue that I wanted to discuss was, you know, women in cycling. Usually you see men cycling, probably almost exclusively. How great a role, how great a part do women play in the sport of cycling?
Well, again, a few years ago, one of the things that I tried to do was to get females to ride, and we did manage to get quite a few. If you look at the Project Breakaway tape that showed a little while ago, you could see there were at least 6 females on the ride. So it is something that there's a lot of interest by the females in cycling, and I think it's going to grow. Once they begin to see other females cycling, I think a lot more females will come on board with it.
What about from the association's
Point of view?
standpoint?
We've had several female riders in the past. Unfortunately, none of them are still practicing the sport today, but we're hoping to attract a lot more from the youth level now to begin cycling. Even my own daughter rode Independent Cycling Classic 2 years ago, and we're trying to encourage more youngsters, young female riders, to come out and participate. But Clinton, key again to that is basically the facility. I mean, it's difficult to ask parents to have their 6, 7, 8-year-old children come and ride on the roads as they are in St. Lucia. The traffic is horrendous. We have accidents on almost daily basis. So we are pleading to try to get a facility dedicated to cycling where you could practice the sport in safety.
And I mean, when you organize your events, do the events, do you cater to female cyclists or just male?
No, well, this upcoming event is caters also for female cyclists. In the past, we have not had that much of a big female orientation because we have not had many female riders to put on that entire event. But with what we're trying to do with the J.K. Charles event this year is to encourage riders to participate, both male and female, and we go into all the schools to get out the young female riders and make them shred the stuff as well, right alongside the boys.
Very interesting topic that we have this evening. We have Ernest Otley of Project Breakaway and also Leslie Serrier of the St. Lucia Cycling Association. We're talking about health and cycling. We'll take a break and be back right after this.